Hello, a very good evening. Welcome to the Mega News, 6 live and direct from our studios on the 10th Avenue Extension, Greater Estate, Nungwa Adogono. The news is also live across our social media handle on MBN 360. My name is El Samuels. The headlines. President Mahama commissions at Kpobo Police Headquarters to strengthen national security. In business, Triple Helix leadership drives integration of agriculture, nutrition and health in Africa's food system. On the international front, new political alliance shakes up in Nigeria's power landscape. The President, John Dramani Mahama, has commissioned a new police headquarters in Kpobo, describing the facility as a major step towards improving security and policing across the area. President John Dramani Mahama has commissioned a newly constructed police headquarters at Kpobo, reinforcing government commitment to strengthening law enforcement infrastructure and enhancing public safety. The modern facility is expected to improve operational efficiency, provide better working conditions for officers, and enhance response time to crime and emergencies within the Kpobo and surrounding communities. Speaking at the ceremony, the President emphasized that security remains a cornerstone of national development. He noted that investing in police infrastructure is essential to maintaining law and order and protecting lives and property. Local residents and officials have welcomed the development, expressed optimism that the new headquarters will help curb crime and strengthen community policing efforts in the region. Government says more investment in security infrastructure are underway as part of the broader efforts to modernize the country's law enforcement system.
Let me first thank His Royal Majesty Nene Sakite for the very warm words he spoke in his welcome address. As he said, it wasn't long ago when he led the Eastern Regional House of Chiefs to pay a courtesy call on me at the presidency. I'm happy to have the opportunity to return that courtesy call in the way of joining you to commission this beautiful divisional police headquarters. And so it's a great honor and privilege to join you here today in Kpobo Dumasi for the commissioning of the divisional police headquarters in Lassi. I bring you warm greetings from the people of Ghana and reaffirm government's unwavering commitment to ensure peace, safety, and security of every Ghanaian citizen. Today's event is not merely the commissioning of a building, it is a commissioning of renewed hope, strengthened institutional capacity, and a bold step forward in our collective quest to build a secure and resilient nation. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, without peace and stability, there can be no meaningful progress, no thriving businesses, no quality education, and no sustainable livelihoods. It is for this reason that my administration continues to prioritize investments in the security sector, particularly in the Ghana Police, which remains the frontline institution in maintaining law and order within our communities. And I'm happy to note the IGP mentioned this. As soon as we came last year, we placed an order for 40 armored vehicles for the Ghana Police Service, and they've played a very big role in countering armed robbery across the length and breadth of Ghana.
As the President doing the commissioning at the Kpobo district in the eastern region, the government has announced a major steps aimed at strengthening accountability and ensuring results. The Chief of Staff has unveiled a new presidential delivery unit designed to track, verify, and also fast-track key government promises made to Ghanaians. The newly established Presidential Delivery Unit will operate at the heart of government, monitoring the process of flagship policies, infrastructure projects, and social intervention. Officials say the unit will provide real-time data to the presidency, helping to identify delays, eliminate bottlenecks, and ensure that commitment translates into tangible outcomes. According to the Chief of Staff, the initiative is part of a broader effort to enhance transparency, improve coordination across ministries, and deliver measurable results for citizens. The unit is expected to work closely with ministries, departments, and agencies, holding them accountable to timelines and performance targets. The policy analyst says the success of the delivery unit will depend on political will, data integrity, and the independence of its operations. While similar models have been implemented in other countries with a mixed result, expectations remain high that this initiative would improve governance outcomes. The Presidential Delivery Unit is expected to begin operations immediately with periodic public updates on government performance.
Now, someone will say, now I say, Kitty said, and your mom will and a 2 million at their mom, a new pound and a pie and 2 million their mom said, who found me. 80 million, you say, and the city they say, a buyer for you now, will be away, and my pepper. I could sit in your president, Washington, Ebon. 80, my penny. I did a presidential delivery unit. Otokasa local is said. A bush idea of my penyasia, Busumi Power, as a secret. He who said, I dare not can say a Busu Yana. And the ever invented a one thousand of 40 presidential delivery units were Abba. None, tell you, DC, and our minister be here to be a when we saw. The Nipanadi or any idea a year about yourself. Then we be announced when you are in the country of my penny. It was my bomb national, Miss Awa, number 2 years, the Abusinas result. A woman, Nana say, a power way of Cassie and Yafa, Nanswadaruma, and Kaudi Faha and Kpobo. It's in Nana for a young way of your pre-mantel. And that day, my penny said, Namambo or the Bamanasi. Na bibia muhu wo manindi bibi suna manindi so amomo na baso na mo share ni cry tabi a man be fa ni tuma pesia e da masi ni suna.
And that was the Chief of Staff speaking in Chi. Meanwhile, the President has reaffirmed his administration's commitment to deepening decentralization, describing it as a key to inclusive governance and grassroots development during the Resetting Ghana Citizen Engagement. President John Dramani Mahama has outlined a renewed push for decentralization reforms, emphasizing the need to bring governance closer to the people. Speaking in the Resetting Ghana Citizens Engagement, the president said empowering local authorities remains central to the national development. At the engagement, the President Mahama highlighted plans to strengthen metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies, giving them greater control over resources and decision-making. He noted that effective decentralization will improve service delivery, boost local economies, and enhance accountability. The president stressed that local government must not be administrative arms, but engines of development capable of responding directly to community needs. He also pointed to the ongoing efforts to review policies that limit autonomy at the district level. The Resetting Ghana engagement forms part of a broader national conversation aimed at rebuilding public trust, strengthening institutions, and driving economic recovery. Citizens at the event also had the opportunity to share concerns and propose solutions directly to government officials. Government says decentralization reforms will be rolled out in phases with a strong focus on transparency and measurable impact at the local level. And still at the presidency, the President John Dramani Mahama said his government is committed in strengthening the office of the Special Prosecutor, insisting that an effective anti-corruption fight requires a full procedural authority. President John Dramani Mahama has reaffirmed government commitment to empowering the Office of the Special Prosecutor, stressing that the institution must have the independence and authority to prosecute corruption-related offenses without interference. Speaking on governance reforms, the president emphasized that the fight against corruption remains a top priority. He noted that the Office of the Special Prosecutor must not only investigate cases, but also have the legal backing to carry prosecutions through to conclusion. According to the president, giving the office procedural powers will help fast-track cases, reduce delay in the justice system, and restore public confidence in accountability mechanism. The Office of the Special Prosecutor was established to investigate and prosecute corruption and corruption-related offenses involving public officials. Analysts say strengthening its mandate could significantly impact transparency and governance. The president assured the government will continue to provide the legal and financial support needed to ensure the office operates effectively and without political interference.
Ladies and gentlemen, recently there have been legal disputes about the constitutionality of the Office of the Special Prosecutor. While some of the issues are pending appeal and Supreme Court interpretation, government believes that there is space for an effective Office of the Special Prosecutor with special powers of prosecution. Government has, through the Attorney General, laid a bill in Parliament to give legal effect for the setting up of regional tribunals. These regional tribunals will help to speed up the system of justice.
Moving on, we go straight to the education sector, where Ghana Education Minister is sending a strong warning ahead of the basic education certificate examination, cautioning both candidates and invigilators to stay clear of any form of malpractice. The directives come as authority intensify efforts to protect the credibility of the national examination system. The Education Minister has issued a firm caution to candidates sitting for the Basic Education Certificate examination, as well as invigilators and supervisors, urging strict adherence to examination rules and regulation. According to the Minister, any attempt to engage in examination malpractice, whether through collation, possession of unauthorized materials, or external assistance, will attract severe sanctions. The warning extends beyond students to include teachers and invigilators, who have been reminded of their responsibility to uphold integrity throughout the examination process. Authorities say disciplinary action will be taken against any official found aiding malpractice. The minister emphasized that maintaining the credibility of the BEC is critical to preserving trust in Ghana's education system and ensuring that hardworking students are fairly rewarded. Meanwhile, the West Africa Examination Council is expected to deploy monitoring teams across examination centers nationwide to enforce compliance and detect any irregularities. Candidates are therefore being urged to focus on preparation and honesty as the government reiterates its zero-tolerance stance on examination malpractice. The BEC remains a key milestone for junior high school students across the country, determining placement into senior high schools under the national education system.
We are particularly concerned about the growing phenomena of exam malpractices. Last year, it affected about 178 candidates, and several papers were withheld. In some instances, the papers were cancelled. So to you, the candidates, honesty and integrity defines citizenship. Honesty and integrity defines patriotism. And honesty and integrity must be the hallmark of your molding. When I say molding, character molding to be able to serve Ghana better tomorrow. So don't engage in any exam malpractice. And to our invigilators, we expect nothing short of the highest standard of integrity. Last year, about 8 teachers were involved, facilitating cheating, and they have been dealt with in accordance with law. About 8 of them have been convicted and sentenced, and they'll be taken off the payroll of the Ghana Education Service. So we mean business, and we mean that walk to this exercise with the highest sense of integrity, as that defines your future and defines what kind of responsible citizens you'll be tomorrow. So I wish you all the best. You may retire to the exam room. I want to walk through the exam room and have a feel of it. And the media too should be interested in knowing the state of Ghana's education infrastructure.
In other story, Ghana is set to take a center stage in the global justice conversation as it prepares to host a major international conference on reparation following a landmark United Nations resolution on slavery. The move positions the country at the forefront of a renewed course for historical accountability and restitution. Ghana will host a high-level global conference on reparation in the wake of United Nations resolution addressing legacy of slavery and the transatlantic slave trade. The conference is expected to bring together policymakers, historians, activists, and representatives from Africa and the diaspora to deliberate on pathways towards justice and compensation. The development follows a growing international momentum to confront enduring impact of slavery, colonialism, and systemic inequalities that continues to affect people of African descent worldwide. Government officials say Ghana's selection as host reflects its historic role in the transatlantic slave trade and its continued leadership in Pan-African advocacy. The conference will serve as a platform to push for concrete actions, including financial reparation, institutional reforms, and a formal acknowledgement from nations historically linked to slavery. Analysts believe the gathering could reshape global discourse on reparative justice, moving it beyond symbolic gestures towards structured policy commitment. The conference is expected to amplify calls for justice from African nations and the diaspora, while testing the willingness of the international community to engage meaningful on a reparation. Ghana's hosting of the event underscores its growing influence in global policy discussion and its commitment to championing African interest on the world stage. And away from the reparation story, we go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll bring you the business story that will be presented by Farah Ayi.
So there's some local fast. Mama, me again. Yes, we are late. Me call you, ma'am. Oh, hear me. Meant me and sent my friend doctor when I'm crossing over. See what we saw. She has malaria. Malaria. Oh, what they say with the router? Me copy the absence. A drone a friend router mixer. Yeah, come on, let it draw. And running so got trap and the draw crew abaso body assay wabo ruta mixture abaso ruta natural products and ruta mixture yeah the kutia a treat ruta tonic and the ruta life for a who a finish the bonnie a fin pedrium that's support the immune system ruta de obiase FDA I the drug crack to yatu.
Welcome back from that quick break. Now, going into the world of business, a new leadership approach is gaining momentum across Africa, aiming to transform how the continent tackles food security, public health, and nutrition. The triple helix model is now driving a more coordinated strategy, bringing agriculture, nutrition, and health systems together to deliver better outcomes for millions. The Ghanaian
African policymakers and development partners are increasingly adopting triple helix leadership model to integrate agriculture, nutrition, and health into a unified food system strategy. The approach emphasizes the collaboration across sectors that have traditionally operated in silos, often limiting the impact of intervention. Under this model, government, research and institutions and private sector actors work together to ensure that food production is not only sufficient but also nutrition and accessible whilst aligning with public health goals. Experts say says integration is critical in addressing persistent challenges such as malnutrition, food insecurity, and diet-related diseases across the continent. By linking agricultural output directly to nutrition outcomes and health policies, countries can better respond to both undernutrition and rising cases of non-communicable diseases. Several African nations are already piloting policies that connect farmers to nutrition programs, strengthen value chain for healthy foods, and incorporate health consideration into agricultural planning. Stakeholders believe that triple helix approach could be a game changer in building resilient and inclusive and health-focused food system across Africa. As the continent grapples with evolving food and health challenges, integrated leadership models like this may prove key to securing a healthier and more food-secure future.
Moving on, the Ghana Chamber of Mines is calling for greater transparency in the management of foreign exchange earnings from the mining sector, urging the Bank of Ghana to publish a detailed breakdown of all mining-related forex inflows.
The Chamber of Mines has formally appealed to the Bank of Ghana to disclose comprehensive data on foreign exchange generated by mining companies and how those funds are utilized within the economy. According to the Chamber, whilst mining sector remains one of Ghana's largest sources of foreign exchange, there is limited public clarity on the exact volumes retained, repatriated, or allocated by central bank. The Chamber argues that publishing a full breakdown will ensure accountability, improve investor confidence, and provide better insight into how the country's natural resources revenue support economic stability. This call comes amidst ongoing discussions about forest management, currency pressures, and the need for transparent fiscal and monetary coordination. Industry players insist that clearer reporting will also help address misconception about the sector's contribution to national development. The Bank of Ghana is yet to respond publicly to the Chamber's request, but analysts say the move could reignite debate over resources, governance, and also economic transparency in Ghana. The mining sector continues to play a critical role in Ghana's economy, making calls for greater accountability in forest management a key issue for policymakers and industry stakeholders.
And that's all for the business news. There's more news after the break.
Ghana here no ya dwene ni say obi ko school o kan brofo dia o nyansa obi wa ko school o kan brofo chen ako ba waji mi chen aponche dan be na won ne nam ni pay you won ne nam nyansa ketekete say oni bi ba o say o ye wadanfo enti hwe ni odo na follow ko bebere ni nyansa.
Praise God. Medini Prophet Samuel Limau, Midasa for a friend Global Palace International Ministry ano ayewo ashama Katamanso New Land Jones baby awo bi ha ufaka udru ashama o si upe Katamanso ka ufa Katamanso ka ubesi wo New Land Jones usi wo Jones wa bon say a signboard esi ho down wa sorry dan esi ho na ye di program bi brew ewo MBN TV aya tu ni di Voice of Salvation program na sa program se okoso hwa ubeye nhira wabrabo enye sada okoso hwa di sisaye ni nkoso ebeba wabrabo azia 1 osoro muntie asase sunya so na erode akasa obo ade akasa manyane mama wanyini nyame se wa yen mama wanyini na mama won so na nyame ma nipa bebre so na wodie na nipa de ya bo nyame so ko efiri se yehumi nyame mframa ye bi nyame aduane ye num nyame nsio ba wuchiri nyame asem ye mfa nyame nyehwe se bufuo bi ba asase we so a wo usika wo ka wa ho ofe entumi nyiu enti koswa na hwe ye wo MBN TV Frobi no binsu Frobi Monday dia abra abo 7 to 8 p.m. na ubeye nshira. Peace.
I have a message for you. God send me to
And welcome back from the business desk, and away from there we go straight to the sports desk, where the Ministry of Youth and Sports has pushed back against criticism over travel arrangement involving Ghana's 4x100 meters relay team, stating it does not directly determine athletes' travel schedules. The Ministry of Sports and Recreation says responsibility for athletes' travel planning does not rest with the ministry, following concerns raised over the handling of Ghana's 4x100 meter relay team. In a response to the controversy, the ministry clarified that logistical arrangements, including travel schedules, are typically managed by sporting federation and team officials, not the ministry itself. The statement comes after questions were raised about whether travel challenges may have affected the team's preparation and performance at the recent international competition. Whilst acknowledging the importance of proper coordination, the ministry emphasized its role is largely supervisory and policy-driven rather than operational. Sports analyst says the development highlights ongoing coordination gaps between government bodies and sports federation, particularly ensuring athletes receive optimum support ahead of a major competition. The situation has renewed calls for clearer accountability structures within Ghana's sports administration to avoid similar issues in the future. Ghana's 4x100 meter relay team remains one of the country's key medal prospects, making effective planning and coordination critical to future success on the global stage. Away from the sports desk, we go straight to the entertainment stories. Get it? On Entertainment Desk this evening, Ghanaian hip life legend Reggie Rockstone has opened up about a personal lifestyle change, revealing he quit smoking due to his battle with asthma. Speaking about his experience, the music icon noted that managing asthma requires discipline and cautious lifestyle choices, including avoiding triggers that can worsen breathing difficulties. He emphasized that smoking posed a serious risk to his condition, prompting him to make a firm decision to quit in order to protect his health and overall well-being. Health experts say asthma, a chronic respiratory condition, can be aggravated by smoking and other environmental factors, making it critical for individuals diagnosed with the condition to avoid such triggers. Reggie Rockstone's revelation is sparking conversation around healthy living and the importance of lifestyle changes in managing chronic conditions. The veteran musician's message is resonating with many as public figures continue to use their platform to promote healthy awareness and responsible living. And as away from the entertainment story, go for a break. While return, we'll read the international stories. On the international front, precisely West Africa, where Nigerians' political scene is witnessing fresh realignment as new allegiance is beginning to reshape the balance of power ahead of the future electoral contest. The shifting partnerships are already generating debate over their potential impact on governance and party dynamics. New political alliances are emerging across Nigeria, signaling a possible reshaping of the country's political landscape as key figures and groups reposition themselves ahead of upcoming political cycles. The development involves discussions between major political actors and influential blocs seeking to strengthen their influence and improve their chances in the future elections. Analysts says the moves reflect strategic recalculations within Nigeria's dominant political parties. Whilst details of some of the alliance remain fluid, political observers noted that the realignment could alter existing power structures, especially in regions where electoral competition is traditionally tight. The evolving partnership are also expected to intensify negotiation within parties as internal factions weigh their loyalty against emerging political opportunities. Analysts believe the incoming month will be crucial in determining whether this new alliance holds or further fragment the political landscape. As Nigeria moves closer to its next political season, all eyes remain on how these shifting alliances will influence voter alignment and national governance. And as we end this evening's Bulletin live and direct from our studios here on the 10th Avenue Extension Greater Estate. But before I take leave of you, we take a second look at the stories making headlines. President Mahama commissions a Kpobo police headquarters to strengthen national security. In business, Triple Helix leadership drives integration of agriculture, nutrition and health in Africa's food system. On the international front, new political alliance shakes up in Nigeria's power landscape. For more news, log on to MBN 360. The news was also live across all our social media handles on MBN 360. My name is El Samuels. Do have a good evening.